Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Emery. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in Abilene, Texas. I own a private practice called Mosaic Wellness. And I wanted to just share some insights today, briefly, that might be helpful to you. Maybe not, but I guess I'll let you be the judge of that. Regardless of what brings a person to talk therapy, everybody deals with difficult emotions, and guilt is one of those emotions that's challenging for many people. Now, what is guilt? Well, a dictionary definition of guilt, the noun version would be something like it is the fact of having committed a specific or implied offense or crime. The verb version, when I'm trying to guilt somebody, that type of usage would be to cause another person to feel guilty or responsible, so that I could compel them to do something to rectify the perceived offense. Right now, both versions of the word guilt, or the concept at least, um, connected to being an objectively bad thing to feel or experience. And that's a pretty common way that a lot of my clients have expressed that they experience guilt, that it's a bad thing. And when I ask them, how does guilt feel to you? How do you experience it? Um, Many people will express that their experience of guilt is at least uncomfortable, and at times overwhelmingly awful. They'll tell me that they have obsessive thinking about what they did wrong, or what was done wrong to them. Their guts, their stomach, their intestines may feel bad, or they have pain, literal pain, physical pain in their chest. Guilt is associated with words like blame and shame and regret and anger, self doubt, feeling accused or attacked, or overwhelmingly sad. So, most people experience guilt because it feels so bad. We experience it as a bad thing, objectively bad. And we lose sight of the function of guilt. And so we learn to associate guilt with badness and to develop behaviors to avoid feeling guilt. We don't like to feel it, and we don't like it when others try to make us feel it by blaming us or accusing us of something. Now, if we can slow things down and process our guilt, I think we can learn to experience it differently. So here's my rule of thumb about how to experience guilt in a helpful way. You see, guilt, when it is doing what it's supposed to do, allows us to acknowledge that there's been a wrong behavior or attitude, and we can take action to stop that behavior and or change that behavior so that we can heal and possibly even restore a relationship. So when it does its job, even if it's uncomfortable to experience, guilt leads to healing and restoration. It's a difficult process, but a valuable outcome. Now, just like many things that can be handled for good, guilt has the possibility to lead to bad outcomes. This is what I like to call inappropriate guilt. Um, Inappropriate guilt is the idea that anytime guilt is used to create disconnection and pain instead of healing and growth, right? So if we're experiencing guilt in a way that causes us to avoid talking to a person, or avoid taking responsibility, or because we don't want to feel the guilty feeling, that we cover it up, or we stuff it, or we put it away, and it doesn't allow us to heal from a situation or to reconnect with a person that was hurt by our behavior or our actions, then guilt is not serving its purpose, right? And that's it. That's the distinction. That's my rule of thumb. Good guilt is that which leads us to correct our behaviors and attitudes, and inappropriate guilt is any other version of guilt. Now, obviously, each situation has its own unique complexities that may require more processing, but that thought at least is enough to get us started and evaluate whether we're coping well with the situation and experiencing guilt in a way that leads us to heal and restore and reconnect, or if we maybe need some professional help to take right action and let us experience our guilt in a helpful way instead of an unhelpful way. If any of this resonated with you and you'd like to set up an appointment to start your healing process, we'd love for you to reach out to us at Mosaic Wellness. I'm Jeff Emery, and I'm happy to help.